Britain has long been the destination of choice for young foreign drivers hoping to take their first tentative steps into international motorsport. Its tough tracks, along with the opportunity to race against some of the best talent this country has to offer, has provided the launchpad for many a career. Over the last 2 years, the BRDC Formula 4 Championship has quickly established itself as the place to be seen with its big grids and close racing. Last season, a titanic battle went all the way to the final race, with 4 drivers still in contention. In the end, though, it was Britain's George Russell that came out victorious, and he walked away with a cheque for £25,000. His talent hasn't gone unnoticed either, as he followed it by taking the McLaren Autosport BRDC Young Driver of the Year award, firmly establishing him as a name to watch out for. The 2015 season kicks off here at Oulton Park in Cheshire this weekend. So what can we expect? Again, we have a great mix of drivers from across the world taking on some of Britain's best rising stars. Jordan Albert had a strong finish to 2014 and returns to the fray for another stab at the title. Tom Jackson is back and hoping he can make the leap forward towards the front of the grid. Also back for a second season is Will Palmer. He was a race winner last year. He also took the F4 Winter Series title, and his eyes are firmly fixed on the prize.
Through my season last year, I now know all of the tracks, so I can just focus on the finer details of learning each part when I get to them. I'm feeling quite confident ahead of this year, staying with the same team, HHC, and I'm sure we can do a good job together.
The big smile of Rodrigo Fonseca is also back. The talented young Mexican will be hoping for a good year with regular visits to the podium.
Last year was a learning year for me. It was my first year in single-seaters. Now I have all that experience, I know the tracks and everything, so this should be a winning year, you know, we should be fighting for the lead. Lana has been the champion for the last 2 years, so they have a good background, no, that supports them. So yeah, we're really happy, and hopefully we can win the third championship with this team.
There are also some exciting new drivers on the grid. One has a very familiar surname. Harry Newey is the son of the legendary Formula 1 designer and aerodynamicist Adrian Newey. Having grown up around the sport, it was almost inevitable he'd want to give it a go, but he's still got a lot to learn.
Like having done a season, it's more the tracks, I think. Things like Brands GP, where you get one practice session straight into qualifying. They did that race last year, so they know the track. Things like that. Me and other newcomers are going to be green to the track, and that will be tough.
2015 looks set to be another all-action season. Sit back and let's see how it all pans out. Round 1 of the Duo BRDC F4 Championship is set to get underway here at Oulton Park. Will Palmer is on pole position. Harry Newey with him at the front of the grid ahead of Seb Lanzetti, and Tom Jackson lining up 4th. It's the full international circuit in use. It's a 12-lap race. It's a 1-by-1 staggered grid, and it's blast off. Great start by Palmer from pole position. He leads on the run down towards Old Hall. Harry Newey looking for a way past and also trying to defend from Lanzetti, but Lanzetti up the inside grabs second. On board with Tom Jackson, he's 4th. Just ahead of us, you can see in 33 there is Harry Newey. He's dropped back into 3rd place. He might drop back to 4th. Jackson right alongside him. Riding in the Acuria Cost car now with Kieran Haggerty. He's 5th, heading along Lakeside Straight. Jackson ahead of us. Down towards Island Bend, but Will Palmer it is from pole position who leads the way. Into the Shell Oils hairpin for the first time. Lanzetti is 2nd, Harry Newey is 3rd, and way wide here has gone Sisa Ngebulana, and he's lost a place. Fonseca it is who's gone past him. Rodrigo Fonseca gains track position, and so that means now that Ngebulana needs to work very hard indeed, and he also nearly lost it, walloping the curb going into Britain's. Down they come towards Hislops for the first time. Will Palmer is getting away, and you can see why, because there's a real traffic jam now for 2nd place. Lanzetti just ahead of Newey, just ahead of this man Jackson. Up Clay Hill under the footbridge, heading towards Druids, and while they're squabbling over 2nd place like this is an absolute gift for Will Palmer. He's driving off into the distance. Everybody in the same chassis, built and designed by Ralph Furman Racing. So it's all down to driver ability and how well you can work with your team. 23 there, the Sean Walkinshaw racing car of Jordan Albert, back for a second season. And Kieran Haggerty running wide here over the curb, rattling it out wide, coming out of Lodge Corner, up dearly and over the timing line now. He loses a place because there, look, charging past him, Jack Bartholomew. Haggerty, new to these cars this year, goes down one place. Jackson, in the meantime, is still looking to try to find a way past Harry Newey, who is all over Seb Lanzetti in that second place, like the proverbial rash. But look up the road, Will Palmer for HHC Motorsport continues to get away. On board with Jackson, into Island Bend. There is Harry Newey. He's new to Oulton Park. He's done precious little car racing in the UK, and he locks up big time going into Shell. Doesn't lose too much ground as a result of that. Jackson not really able to capitalise on it, and Lanzetti hangs on to that second place, but any chance of catching Palmer now I think is pretty much gone. He's so busy defending. Back on board with Tom Jackson, over the brow of the hill, down towards Hislops they come. Now what this time can Newey do at Hislops? He launches himself up the inside there, wheel to wheel, and he's going to go through. He forces Lanzetti to lift. Lanzetti goes over the curb, but Newey goes up into second place, and that was really bold driving. Great move by Harry Newey, up to second. Now what can he do about the race leader Palmer? It's a big ask, past the water tower, up to the double apex right at Druids. Tom Jackson, meantime, fourth, is rather busy defending from Jack Bartholomew now. He, in turn, is carving his way into contention. Fernando Urrutia goes through, number 24 in the Douglas Motorsport car. But this is the man to watch now. Harry Newey up into second place. Newey out of dearly over the line. That pit board is a lap down. No longer is he P3, he's P2, and he's done the fastest lap of the race as well, Harry Newey. He's absolutely flying. This is Bartholomew's view, out of Old Hall Corner. Through Denton's, into Cascades. Jack Bartholomew there on the tail of Tom Jackson in the Chris Dickman racing car. Bartholomew driving for double champion team Lannon Racing. They guided George Russell to the championship last year, Jake Hughes to the title in year one. And Kieran Haggerty, look, has bought back into this in the blue and white Incuria Cos car, looking for a way up the inside, but there's no way through there at Shell. Chris Dickman Racing's engineers look on to see Tom Jackson hanging on, but only just to the place. And here comes Haggerty, a cheeky look up the inside approaching Britons, but it's so narrow around Oulton Park, it's hard to really commit to that line. Looking back from Kieran Haggerty's car now, he's still having to work hard not only to try and gain a place, but also defend. Down they come towards Hislops. Chris Mealin, the Manxman, is looking for a way past. Mealin moving from Formula Ford, in which he raced last year, to F4 for this season. Kieran Haggerty turns his way then now, out of Knickerbrook Corner, up Clay Hill. And Chris Mealin for Lannon Racing is getting closer all the time. They're heading towards Druids now. Tom Jackson, even though he can't escape, is doing a very good job of withstanding all of this pressure, and he's hanging on to that fourth place. Down towards Lodge Corner they go. Chris Mealin turns his way through. And Mealin doing well in these cars, new to F4 this season, but adapting quickly. Out of Dearly, over the timing line. Up front, though, it is still Will Palmer who leads the way by over 4 seconds. Haggerty versus Mealin, turning through Old Hall. The Scotsman versus the Manxman. Kieran Haggerty hangs on in there. They're going down towards Cascades now, into the left-hander. For the last time, Will Palmer, though, is up at Shell. This has been a masterful display. The former Ginetta Junior racer accelerates then now up towards Britons. But Will Palmer is looking as though he's going to lead home an HHC Motorsport 1-2 ahead of his teammate Harrison Newey. Out of Britons he goes. Palmer on his own. He's not put a wheel wrong in this race. He's had to maintain concentration. He hasn't had to do any defending or any battling to keep himself awake, as it were. Instead, he's just had to treat this like a qualifying session. Go quickly, build a gap, but maintain concentration all the while. Harry Newey is second. This man, Seb Lanzetti, is third, fighting the car through Hislops and then into Knickerbrook. Harry Newey, Oulton Park rookie, set for second place. Great way to open his account. He's also being linked to a season in the German ADAC Formula 4 Championship this year. But Will Palmer then makes his way down towards the right-hander of Lodge Corner, and Will Palmer is set for honours in round one of the Duo BRDC F4 Championship. Second, Harry Newey. Third, behind him, Seb Lanzetti. Checkered flag at the ready. Victory at Oulton Park goes the way of Will Palmer, who comes across the line to score honours by 4.8 seconds from Harry Newey and Seb Lanzetti third. They're still battling though. On board with Jack Bartholomew, who's about to burst over dearly and secure 5th place for Lannan Racing. He does take 5th, but only just, because right on his tail, Kieran Haggerty in the gap, just a 1/5 of a second as they make their way towards the line. But this is the man of the moment. First blood is drawn by Will Palmer. A look at the top 10, rounded out by Fernando Urrutia, behind Rodrigo Fonseca and Sisa Ngebulana. Chris Meelin's 7th behind Kieran Haggerty. Jack Bartholomew chases Tom Jackson home, but the podium 3, Seb Lanzetti, Harry Newey, and winner Will Palmer.
Clambering up onto the top step now.
It was all done at the start. I managed to get a good getaway and built up a good early lead, and from there it was just managing that gap till the end of the race.
Trophy now being presented.
It's nice. First race of the year, second race in F4. First time I've been here, you can't complain about the result, but it's a shame Will was so dominant.
And dips his toe into the
It's
water.
been an amazing race. Honestly, I did not expect that at all. But you know, when the lights went out, just put my head down and kept my cool and just try to manage the race.
So it was a great podium on his debut for Seb Lanzetti, and we met up with him at work before the weekend got underway.
Today we are at Strawberry Racing, and to be working with this team is just incredible. I actually never thought that it was possible until I came in here a few weeks ago and asked them for a job, and they said, yeah, they might have something for me to do. At the moment, I'm really here to assist where possible and to help the team out wherever I can. Whether it be working on the carts, working on the track, or cleaning the place, really anything. My dad previously started racing himself in Porsches in South Africa, so a few years later I started racing in karting. When my dad saw a bit of talent here and there, so he finally bought me my first kart. I started off in the Junior Max category. Then I slowly progressed through the different stages, finally winning the X30 Shifter Kart Championship in 2013. Basically in South Africa I run my own kart, I prep it myself, I'm my own mechanic, me and my dad work on the kart alone. And yeah, to be privateer team and to win a title, it's quite good. In 2012 I moved to main circuit, so I started racing in the South African Formula Ford Championship. So after that, in 2013, I moved up into the Formula VW category, and when I jumped to the Formula 4, it wasn't such a big jump. So the Formula 4 car is actually incredible. I mean, purely the way that it's set up, the car's got a lot of grip on the track, and with all the electronic stuff, the pedal shifts and all, it really is awesome. I mean, comparing it to South Africa, you can't compare it. It's so much better. So, I mean, I'm really happy where I'm staying at the moment. I'm settling in nicely, and yeah, trying not to miss home too much.
So what can Seb Lanzetti do in round 2 of the BRDC F4 Championship? Join us after the break to find out. Welcome back to Oulton Park. We're ready for round 2 of the Duo BRDC Formula 4 Championship here at a very busy Easter Monday Oulton Park. And this grid is based on the results of race 1 with the reversal of the top 8. Sisa Ngebulana should be on pole, but he's had a spin on the warming up lap. Everybody's gone past him. The marshals get him on his way again. But Ngebulana is going to have to start at the very back of the grid. The cars now forming up, ready for the start. One of them, in fact, Jordan Albert, has just dived down the pit lane rather than starting on the penultimate row. There's a gap then ahead of Ngebulana, who joins in at the back. Jordan Albert will join in from the pit lane. Lights out, away they go with Chris Meelin, the only front row survivor, making a tremendous start. He's going to lead Kieran Haggerty down towards Oulton Corner for the first time. Jack Bartholomew goes third. The rest of the field file through and head off down towards Cascades. Will Palmer